Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is Hunter, and I'm back with another F1 2020 video. We got another league race. This time we're on USA COTA. One of those tracks that you either love it or you hate it. There's really no in between, at least from people that I've talked to. There's no in between with this track. Most people like watching this track in person, but when it comes to driving it on sim, it's a love-hate relationship. I tend to actually be in the middle, so I'm contradicting myself already, but I tend to be in the middle. I don't mind this track, but it's definitely not a track that I yearn for. Like, when it comes up in rotation on like a 5-lapper, I'm like, okay, cool. I know I should win this because nobody knows how to take an S section, but in a 50-lapper, everything's different. But let me get into this qualifying lap. This is our fastest lap, and as you see, J-Mick is coming in clutch with a little bit of a toe that actually gives us about half a tenth, I would say. Probably not much more since we didn't really use it the entire straight, but nonetheless still gained some time. But we are going red into sector 3, so we've still got work to do. Still got to nail all these corners, and right here, one of the hardest corners on the track for me. I absolutely nailed it on my last lap. So going into the reverse Toka, I don't even know what to call that. Yeah, we're going into the last corner, 2.5 tenths up, and making sure we're in third, getting a little bit of kick, trying to keep the car straight. We get pole by just either 3 tenths or 16 thousandths. 1600s. I don't know. The game's confusing me. I can't really remember. The edit is a little bit different this time. I'm trying to kind of cut out certain things that don't really matter, but you guys see the strategy. We're going with a soft hard, and I think some of you are probably already looking at yourself and you're like, that's not the fastest strategy. But nonetheless, we'll see what happens with that later. So getting into this start, this is my first start of the season from pole. We're 19 races in. First start from pole. So I really wanted to get off the line well. So we hit 5 lights. We're about to be away. We get a decent jump. You can see Azure in the Renault getting a really good jump on Tito. We go semi-defensive, not too defensive. I knew that we didn't have to do a ton. We didn't want to compromise our own line, and you can see that they're battling out of turn 1, and that allows us to get even more space. So I knew at this point we just have to keep nailing these corners, and they will keep battling for a position on the first lap, and we can get away. But you guys will see later that something really prevents us from doing that, but we're still gaining time on most of the pack. Milky is about 1.5 seconds, and right when we get a second on Total Carney, the safety car gets deployed. So we haven't had a lap 1 safety car in a little while. I think the last one was Russia. So again, you guys are about to see a rookie mistake, me not starting from pole at any point during the season, and I hit the limiter. I try to go too early, and that kind of compromises my exit. So TC is going to be a lot closer to me than I wanted, and also Milky, who's within a second. So the top 3 at the moment, all within a second, and this is going to be tight racing, and hoping that my dirty air can put them off. Hopefully make them make a mistake, but we just know we've got to keep our nose clean. We do not want to get past in these early stages. Get to the first stint, no mistakes. That was our only goal at this point in time. As you see, setting a purple sector on lap 4, to be expected, but almost getting a warning there. I still do not know. I think every time I did that in time trial, I would get invalidated. Every time I would do that in quali, I would have got invalidated. So I don't know how that wasn't a warning, but I will take it. I'm not going to complain. We currently have fastest lap, but TC is on our ass. He's just under 0.5 seconds behind, and Milky is also right behind him as well, as Milky actually makes the move on TC. So they're going to be battling a little bit, and you already see they're losing time. I'm already a second in front, just barely a turn later. So if they continue to battle, this is going to be perfect for us. We'll be able to get even more out front them battling will push everybody else back even farther. The gaps will start to form, and so far so good. Everything is going to plan. I think through this soft stint we did just what we needed to. As we skip forward to lap 9, we did just what we needed to, but I think I skipped to this part just so you guys could see my tires. My tires are only at 50% right now. And I think to some people that might sound, I think mainly the controller players, that probably sounds like, yeah, go pit. But I did not need to pit. I could have done easily another 2 to 3 laps, but I just think that seeing my lap times go red, seeing my lap times kind of just go down subtly started to scare me a little bit, and also having TC kind of catching me on these old softs made me want to pit. So you guys see, we're gonna go into the pits on lap 10, and this might prove to be a mistake. It will depend. We'll see if we can get through the traffic, but realistically the best strategy on this track, if not a medium to soft, is a soft to medium. It is definitely possible. I think the better strategy probably is the medium to soft. I think it's easier to stretch any sort of hard compound tire. It's going to be easier to stretch a medium than it is to stretch a soft tire. So definitely the medium to soft is probably the prime strategy. And you guys noticed that at the beginning of the race that Groovy was starting on those medium tires. Groovy, a name that I've mentioned over and over again, the league leader currently, considered the fastest guy in our league obviously at the moment. So battling him is always a good feeling, but I hate when I make, just subtle mistakes that obviously can impact your race. So getting into lap 13, we're gonna go for a move on ladies, getting pretty close to contact but just avoiding it. So we're gonna get the easy pass, and most underrated is also, I think, going to follow us and get the pass on ladies as well. So on these hard tires, it's lap 13. We're in P3. You guys see that Groovy is just now pitting, along with Nat as well. He is just now pitting. So we've really got to start pushing now. This is when we have to push, especially knowing that Groovy has one of his teammates in this top 5. No, like, he's not gonna have to pass him. He's just most likely Azure is gonna let him pass, give him the position, and he's not gonna have to deal with that. So he's really not gonna have too much traffic, and I think you guys are gonna see him pop up on the screen pretty soon. So in my head I was thinking, let's push, let's just go, but at the same time I was thinking it's not gonna matter. It probably would be better to save my ERS, save my fuel until he really gets up to me. And as you see, we hit lap 21 only 3 laps later, and Groovy has already gotten through all the traffic. And as I said, Azure just simply let him pass, so he did not have much to get through. He didn't have much to get through. Those guys being on mediums was a good strategy, but the softs are still going to be better than all of the compounds. My only bet was that he needed to hit a bunch of traffic and or he needed to make a mistake, and neither of those things really happened. And going into lap 22, we're going to end up getting passed by Groovy, and you could see even I could have went super defensive, but I thought against it. I didn't want to ruin both of our races, but for the rest of the race, basically we really just tried to stay inside of Groovy's DRS, and even that was too much of a challenge. You can see that he's already pulling basically a 10th on me per turn. Like the grip difference was absolutely insane. He's already up 8/10, and it's just growing unless I just blow my ERS. So we try our best staying in the DRS, but you guys can see this is going to be the last time we get any sniff of a DRS from Groovy for the rest of the race. And we don't really have any challenging behind. Everybody has penalties, so that wasn't really an issue, but I was at this point, I think, a little bit disappointed. Being ahead in during the entire race, and then just, having Groovy kind of come up and snatch it within the last 7 laps was obviously disappointing. But at the same time, we can't really complain about a P2. P2 is good points. I think it's 18 points. So in terms of the championship, definitely good. We still have a slight chance at possibly getting P4. I think we'll probably end up still being cozied up in P5, but Mexico is a really good race to watch out for. So make sure you guys got your subscriptions on. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you guys like, comment, favorite this. I don't know, is that still a thing? Subscribe, do all that stuff. I'll have the leaderboards up at the end of the video. I'll have a screenshot so you guys can look at that. But make sure you guys tune in. We've got Abu Dhabi on Monday, and then we've got Brazil on Wednesday, which is the season closer. And then the week after that will be the start of my brand new league, ROR. So stay tuned, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see y'all later. Peace.